welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about why I'm still so pleased with my Moment iPhone case. This is the iPhone 8, even after I had a pretty serious mishap with it and the lens broke off of it. Recently I left my mirrorless camera at home for our European vacation, and I decided to only film on the iPhone with the Moment lenses. And the reason I did that was because I thought, I'd seen some really good outcomes with people doing iPhone videos, travel videos, and although I usually shoot my videos with a mirrorless camera or DSLR, I felt like, just with the portability and with the ease of always having it with you and having it ready, that the Moment system should work pretty well for me. And I've been using Moment lenses for some time now, very happy with them. A lot on, if you check out the Instagram account that is linked with travel photo film, you'll see some of the great results that you get from those lenses. I've always been impressed by the sturdiness of the Moment phone case. This is a pretty sturdy case here. It has a nice soft inside to it. Let me see here. The inside is nice and soft. It really protects the phone nicely in that it comes all the way around the edges. The bottom has good access, so you can get in there and charge it, or if you need to do a headphone dongle or something like that, you can do that. Otherwise, it does come up a little bit over the edge so that you can lay your phone down on its face, and as long as there's no serious bump or anything like that, it should work really well. So anyway, I took the phone on the vacation. I took a variety of lenses. Here I've got the 18mm wide, which is a really nice lens. Really minimal distortion along the edges. 58mm here, which is the new tele lens. Big improvement over the most recent, or its predecessor, the 60mm. And then, of course, the anamorphic lens here, the adapter that allows you to shoot in true anamorphic style on an iPhone or on a Pixel or Android phone or whatever you have, whatever phones Moment makes a case for. And the way it works is that the lens attaches, it basically screws on to the case right up here. If you have a phone with multiple cameras, such as the iPhone 10 or another phone like that, then Moment has made the case in such a way that you can actually use either of those camera lenses. So you get a real nice variation in focal length on that. Also, because I knew I was going to be doing videos, and you can check out some of the travel videos I did in this trip to Europe on this channel, I took the Moment 62mm filter mount, as well as a variable density variable neutral density filter. And what this did is this just allowed me to maintain a more cinematic look to the video, because I was able to keep the frames per second in sort of the target speed for that, 24 frames per second. Along with this, this basically just presses on to the back of these lenses, and so it's a friction attachment, and then that lens right there, it's actually really easy to handle, really small. You can throw it in a coat pocket or something like that, but it has a bit of heft to it. These are really well-made lenses, and they're heavier than they look because the glass is quite nice. A couple other adapters here. These are just little rubber gaskets, this one for the anamorphic and this one for most of the other lenses besides the wide. Now, the way this works is you take it and you line up this line here with, there's a line, you can't really see it too well, but it's imprinted kind of in the case here. You put those together and then you turn it, and then you're set, and you've got your your moment lens attached to the camera, and the camera and the phone basically functions as it would. It's got a pretty good attachment in that it is strong and burly. And it has to be, because when you have something like the wide lens and the filter on it, that is, I mean, it's clearly it's more portable than anything you're going to find with a mirrorless or with a DSLR. But it's still, you know, it's not nothing. And it's got a pretty small mount area, so you know the pressures on there they're pretty significant. So on the first morning of the European vacation, I was filming some time-lapse footage, and I had the phone mounted on a suction mount, and it was shooting through a window, looking out into a train station. I want to say right now that the reason I'm doing this is not to talk about so much how the moment case broke and the lens broke off of it, but how I'm impressed at how I was still able to use it even after that happened. So I had this mounted up on a window. I left it because it was a time lapse, and I heard a big bang. And what had happened was that the suction mount had given out. And in fairness, my setup was probably a little bit beyond the tolerances of that mount, and so I can't really blame anybody except myself. Like I said, I was trying to go pretty minimal. But what happened was I heard a bang, and the phone was still attached to the mount, which was now down on the ground. It fell probably 5-6 feet. But the lens was gone, and I had to, you know, turn on the light and look for it. And what had happened is it had broken off. And let me see if I can zoom in here to get a better look at this. If you can see, this is usually really smooth around here, but it's got some jagged edges now because the pieces of the lens mount, they slot in there and it turns and it holds on. And the force was enough to just break this out of there. And, you know, I was pretty concerned because this was my plan for filming the vacation. After the break happened, there was some loose plastic along there. Let me just pop this out so we can get a better feel for what happened. It was jagged and broken. I was able to take this, and even with the significant breakage here, it was still able to mount and to hold these lenses. Now, it was nowhere near as strong and reliable as it normally is, and I can understand why that is because I broke off a lot of that mount. But for the next 10 days, for the rest of this vacation, I was still able to use the moment lenses and use this setup to film the vacation. And so, you know, to me, hats off to Moment for building something that even after it has been abused and gone sort of beyond where it should be able to function, it has functioned well, and it was able to get me through. Now, I babied it. I was really careful, and it wasn't it wasn't rock solid like it usually is. You know, I was very careful to not put too much lateral shear on that. I should note that the lens itself, and because I was shooting kind of early morning, I didn't use the neutral density filter on that. The lens itself, it was basically undamaged. There is no issue that I was able to see with the lens. I mean, these are serious pieces of photographic equipment. You know, it's a metal housing and a glass lens. So that was really impressive, the way that it was able to basically just shake off whatever damage it might have had. So, of course, if the damage had been more significant, probably would have rendered the photo case, the whole setup, really inoperable. But the fact is that it kept working, and I was able to document this vacation. And I'm so impressed with the case, and I mean, I like the look of it anyway. I like the way it feels. I don't like flip cases. I like, this is the case that I like. And so Moment kind of read my mind on that one. It was, I was so impressed with it and so pleased with it that I went ahead and I ordered a replacement. And so now I have, again, fully functioning case. This one, you should be able to see these lenses go on really, really snugly, and that's on there well. That is not gonna pop off unless you, unless you drop it about 4 or 5 feet, at which point it'll pop off and probably break the mount. But for the cost and for the performance, the value of these is just great, and I can endorse it. This is not a paid endorsement in any way, but if people ask me best way to do mobile filmmaking or to sort of expand the options that you have as far as mobile photography, then Moment lenses, in the case, the whole setup is something that I recommend to people without reservation. So thank you for watching. Please leave any questions or comments down in the comments section. Check out the other videos that we put together. I already have one up with our time in Zermatt, Switzerland from this trip. Filmmaking on a cell phone is a little bit different than filmmaking on a larger rig, but I think that there are some real benefits to having the portability. And now that we have these lenses, now that we can hit the wide and the medium, and now we can even do the hit true anamorphic. That gives a lot of versatility, and it's something where you can always have it on you, you can always have it with you, ready to shoot. And if you actually plan out the shots, then they come out pretty well. I'll be doing a video on sort of my views on mobile filmmaking versus kind of a more substantial or traditional, maybe DSLR mirrorless setup. But for what it is, Moment lenses, the Moment setup, the filter mount, great setup if you want to be able to throw a few things in your pocket and really put out a decent, really get a decent result from your travels or from your activities. So thanks again. Keep your eye out for the next video. Always appreciate people who follow or who give a thumbs up. It helps give feedback. I try to respond to all the feedback and comments that I get, and it's been really nice having this community in YouTube. So thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. This is Travel Photo Film out.